Right now, it's an all-hands-on-deck effort to bring Xavier Harrelson home. It's been an excruciating week of worry for the Montezuma community, and so far, search efforts have netted no signs of the boy. Now, DCI investigators are going door-to-door searching for answers. And KCCI's Bo Bowman is here now. And Bo, some neighbors are actually revealing what happened the night before Xavier vanished.
That's right, Alex. And this is the first time we've actually heard this information from Xavier Harrelson's neighbors. They told us the night before he went missing, he and his mother got into a loud fight around 8 o'clock. At the time, they didn't think much of it, but when they didn't see Xavier riding his bike last Thursday, they called police to report him missing. His teachers told KCCI his mother is disabled and that Xavier acted as her caretaker. Over the last week, hundreds of volunteers showed up in full force to search for the 11-year-old. Multiple neighbors said they would see Xavier on his bike nearly every day and that it would be strange for him to leave without it.
Something's telling me, the gut's telling me it's not just wandering off, because he never leaves his bike. He loves his bike. I used to go check my mail in the mornings, when he wasn't at school, and he would be riding his bike.
And investigators say they're still interested in any video if people might still have it. Tisia?
Well, it's been a hectic week for law enforcement officials. So here's a timeline of how things have played out so far. Last Thursday, the Powashik County Sheriff's Office posted on Facebook that they needed help finding Xavier. Then on Friday, the Iowa DCI put out a similar plea saying it had joined the search. Also that day, dive teams searched Diamond Lake but found nothing. By Saturday, dozens of law enforcement agents had descended on the area. Hundreds of volunteers showed up Sunday for a search party. Now take a look at your screen right now. Xavier was last seen wearing a red shirt, blue pajama pants, and black high-top shoes. If you think you might have seen him, call the Powashik County Sheriff's Office. That number's on your screen right now, 641-623-5679. And KCCI will keep you up to date with any developments in this case. For the latest alerts, make sure to download our KCCI mobile app. Turn on notifications to get breaking news right to your phone 24/7.
New this morning, a man accused of starving his son with special needs has pleaded not guilty. Richard Ryan and his wife Jennifer face first-degree kidnapping and neglect charges. Pleasant Hill police say Jennifer Ryan zip-tied the teen during her shift at an auto repair shop. She's set to be arraigned this morning. And Prevent Child Abuse Iowa says abuse is best prevented when adults ask simple questions. A woman is in custody after a brutal beating and robbery. KCCI first told you about the brazen attack late last month. Police say Shamika Cook and two men attacked a woman and left her unconscious in the woods. Investigators say the victim got a ride home from the attackers after a bar closed on May 23rd. Police are looking for the two men. One of them is on your screen right now. Go ahead and take a look. Call Des Moines Police if you have any information.
Well, a man is in the Polk County Jail after a strange incident involving a hatchet. Police were called to an apartment near Drake yesterday afternoon. An apartment employee said a man attacked him with a hatchet, and police say the man went after an officer with a stun gun. He then ran into a unit and started a standoff. Officers used pepper spray to subdue the man. And a Des Moines woman convicted in a racist attack will serve at least 17 years in prison. Nicole Poole intentionally hit a black boy and a Latino girl back in 2019.
All right, Ms. Larson,
she pleaded guilty to 2 counts of attempted murder last Friday. Poole also pleaded guilty to 2 federal hate crimes. She'll be sentenced in August on those charges. And the former CEO of Make-A-Wish Iowa has pleaded guilty. Jennifer Woodley admitted to embezzling $41,000 from the charity she led. Now, Woodley made unauthorized charges from the charity's credit card. She also gave herself an unapproved bonus and a salary increase. Now, prosecutors want Woodley to be sentenced to 5 years of probation, plus fines and restitution.
More violence at the Anamosa State Prison. A corrections officer is recovering this morning after being attacked by an inmate. Officials say the attack happened yesterday morning. The Department of Corrections says the inmate became violent during a hearing before a judge. The officer's arm was hurt while trying to subdue the inmate. No one else was hurt in this. Now, this is just the latest incident, though, under investigation in Anamosa. Late last month, authorities found bomb-making materials in an inmate's cell. And then an attack back in March. Investigators say 2 inmates killed a nurse and a corrections officer during a botched prison break. Iowa Prisons will get a $20 million boost in its budget after this year's legislative session.
Well, the clock is ticking for the Iowa State Fair to make its grand comeback. COVID canceled Iowa's biggest attraction last year. This week, seasonal crews were back to work to spruce up the fairgrounds. After skipping a year, organizers say the fair lost $13 million out of its $34 million budget. The fair says it's having a hard time finding workers.
I am somewhat concerned at this point, not panicked, but we're trying to pull out all the stops and do everything that we can do, including putting the information on our website this early in the year, and then having a job fair, which will be July the 8th here on the fairgrounds.
The fair holds nearly 300 events a year, so that makes up 15% of the budget. Those events were also canceled. A national car show is coming back this weekend, and the World Pork Expo returns next week.
We are 1 month out from Governor Reynolds' goal of getting 3/4 of Iowa adults vaccinated. And here's where we stand this morning. 1.3 million Iowans are fully vaccinated, a little more than half the population. Nearly 2.8 million doses have been administered in the state. And the race to reopen is dependent on the state's vaccine rollout. So Polk County is pitching a plan to get more people to roll up their sleeves. They haven't given any details yet, but we expect an announcement soon. Hy-Vee's jumping on board to help. They're already offering a $10 gift card for getting a shot. And then Ohio. Who can forget Ohio? We saw that lottery-style incentive really ramped up the rollout. And Shantae Fensel is originally from the Buckeye State. She says there's nothing to lose.
I have had some people that I know go and get the vaccine just because for adults they're doing some sort of raffle for money, and for younger students they're doing the college tuition payment, and people are really interested in winning the money.
Who wouldn't be? The Des Moines Register does report, though, that the governor is not interested in a statewide vaccine lottery.
And here's a friendly reminder. You can still get vaccinated at a Hy-Vee pop-up clinic tonight. It'll take place from 6 to 8 at the Des Moines First Church. You can choose either the Pfizer vaccine or the single-dose shot of the Johnson & Johnson shot. And there's a lot of events tonight, Alex, and it's going to be a scorcher. Well, I don't know if it's going to be a scorcher.
Hey, it's all relative. Yeah. Just like last week, we were having freezing mornings, and now we're charging into the 80s. Matinka, it is nice, though.
Yeah, it's a huge turnaround, though. Yeah, from just a few days ago when it was so cold, we had to cover our plants, and now we're talking the scorching heat coming in. Lots of sunshine, too, taking us all the way through the weekend. Look at how it heats up. 80s today, 90s on the way beginning Friday and lasting right through Monday. Then we're finally going to catch a little bit of relief here and get some rain coming in by Tuesday and Wednesday. Right now, it is not raining in Marshalltown. Instead, the sunrise is looking simply spectacular. In Marshalltown, 56 degrees right now. Light breeze coming in from the west-southwest, and the dew point is still pretty comfortable. Highs today will be above average into the mid-80s, really heating up out there, but becoming a little bit breezy. Should be fairly comfortable if you can find a little bit of shade. Overnight tonight, even warmer than it was last night, staying in the upper 60s for lows, and then we've got all those 90s ahead through the weekend.
All right, thank you, Matinka. Let's see how traffic looks over in Ankeny. It's pretty light out there, but things look pretty good. Wow, it's really light out there. I was expecting a lot more vehicles out there, but things look good. There are no crashes in this area, but I do have my eyes over in West Des Moines. This kind of just popped up. I-35 southbound. So this isn't too far from the Dale Matford Reservoir. There, it looks like there is a crash there. You can expect the right lane to be blocked. We'll have more updates on that in the next half hour. Marion County authorities are trying to pinpoint the cause of a deadly crash over Lake Red Rock. We told you about it yesterday. We were the first to report the wreck on Highway 14 on the mile-long bridge yesterday morning, if you remember that. The deputies say the crash involved a car and semi, causing a major traffic delay. Lino Rivera-Reyes died at the scene, and the semi driver is okay.
If you pumped any gas over the Memorial Day weekend, you know the price is high. The average for a gallon of gas in Iowa is $2.88. Experts say that's almost $1 higher than it was last year when the pandemic first started. Well, energy analysts say that the price hike is due to much higher demand than last year.
Your time now is 5:40. Deadlines loom. Time's running out as the president and lawmakers try to hash out a deal on infrastructure.
No monkey business here. An inside look at Zoo Brew as it comes back for the season.
And speaking of wild animals, this pack of elephants are on the loose in China. There's cause for concern.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Well, hey, a lot of things have been grounded due to the pandemic. The National Balloon Classic will take off this summer. It's a beautiful spectacle over the central Iowa skyline.
Yeah, absolutely. Tickets are on sale right now, and there's more seating and hand washing stations to keep everyone safe.
The National Balloon Classic takes flight in Indianola July 30th through August 7th. This is Iowa.
Ooh, good Thursday morning, everyone. It is now 5:44, and we have this gorgeous view from Algona over the town square there. It is just a fantastic start to your Friday Eve. We're getting you ready for it right here on KCCI. It's already a pretty mild start to your day, but a warm-up is coming. Matika's going to break it down in your 8-day forecast in less than 5 minutes. We continue to see the fallout from the serious cyber attack at one of the nation's largest meat producers. JBS is restarting production, but some shifts at the plant in Ottumwa are canceled today, and the first harvest shift will start late. The FBI says the group known as Revil is behind the attack. They're known for hacking into prominent American companies.
Mr. President, will you retaliate against Russia for this latest ransomware attack?
We're looking closely at that issue.
Do you think Putin is testing you?
No.
The FBI says it's committed to bringing the hackers to justice. Shifts are back to normal at the JBS pork plant in Marshalltown.
Well, in Washington, the race is on to find a deal on infrastructure before a looming deadline. KCCI's Matt Pritchard is in our Washington bureau with the new setbacks.
Both sides are committed to finalizing a deal. The only issue right now is closing the gap between their two proposals. On Wednesday, President Biden met with the top Republican negotiator, Senator Shelley Capito of West Virginia. The pair reportedly had a constructive conversation, but no significant progress was announced. Now, Republicans are pushing for a $928 billion package, whereas the White House hopes to spend closer to $1.7 trillion. And despite those differences, both sides are committed to reaching an agreement.
Negotiations mean both sides continue to make moves toward each other. Both sides continue to look for areas where they agree.
I'm hoping for the best, that we can actually reach a bipartisan agreement on infrastructure.
Now, the White House has set a June 7th deadline for these talks, hoping to see clear direction and signs of progress. In Washington, I'm Matt Pritchard.
And another big question is how to pay for the deal. Well, Republicans want to repurpose federal COVID funds, and the White House plans to hike the corporate tax rate. And Iowa Democrats are losing one of their top leaders. House Minority Leader Todd Pritchard announced he is stepping down. He has served as leader for 3 legislative sessions. Pritchard says he and his family decided it's time for him to step aside. House Democrats will choose another leader June 14th.
It's now 5:46 and Indianola is about to lose its police chief. Dave Button announced he plans to step down in a month. He spent 8 years on the job, and Captain Brian Scher will serve as interim chief until a new one is hired. And Ames is one step closer to hiring its next police chief. The city says it narrowed down its choices to 2 candidates. Jeff Huff is serving as the city's interim police chief, and John Justinano is the deputy chief at Navy Installation in California.
Well, we're getting an inside look at one of Des Moines' favorite summer traditions. Zoo Brew is back, and plenty of people were out and about with a beer in hand at the Blank Park Zoo. If you go, you'll see fewer guests, though. The zoo is limiting capacity to keep everyone safe. Masks are optional, but they recommend one if you haven't been fully vaccinated.
We're really excited. We'll be here June, July, and August every Wednesday night. Live music each week as well, so come on out and enjoy the beautiful weather and the animals.
Oh yeah, well if you want to go to the next Zoo Brew next Wednesday, you need to buy a ticket in advance. It costs $14 per person, but it's free for members. And after a year of being cooped up together, how does sending your kid to summer camp sound?
Really good.
Yeah.
I know I'm sending mine.
I don't have kids, but
Camp Matigua in Boone County is about to start its season. The scout camp was seriously damaged in last year's derecho, but now it's ready to go again. And new this year, there will be 7 different storm shelters.
This is designed to hold 40 people and to withstand winds of over 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, wow. The ranger tells us rebuilding costs about $450,000, and volunteers have logged 7,000 hours cleaning up and rebuilding.
well,
Great
if
to
you,
see.
yeah, if you need a little extra cash this summer, Des Moines Parks and Rec is offering some wage increases. Now, pay increases will be for cashiers, recreation leaders, waiting pool attendants, utility workers, and associates. The city is having trouble recruiting staff members to keep its waiting pool open full time. Speaking of pool, or just, being near a lake sounds really good today.
You're going to need to find one. It's going to get warm, especially as we get closer to the weekend, Matinka.
Oh, that's for sure. So if you're starting some swimming lessons, you got some early swim lessons today. It's a little bit on the cool side, but boy, the afternoon ones are going to be perfect. 60 degrees right now in Ames. It's 55 in Algona. We've got clear skies, no fog out there. Here's your 12-hour forecast. A steady warm-up's on the way. Already by 9 a.m., feeling like room temperature out there, near 71 degrees. And highs this afternoon will be in the mid-80s. With the heating of the day, we'll have some clouds developing. The breeze today is going to be pretty gentle from the west-southwest, but enough wind combined with low humidity to keep things pretty comfortable. So highs today, mid-80s for us here in central Iowa, upper 80s to the northwest. And that's going to be the trend over the next several days. The hottest weather will be up across the northern counties. Overnight lows tonight, even warmer than last night, mid to upper 60s. And for your Friday highs, upper 80s and low 90s for central Iowa and mid 90s up to the northwest. Wow, scorching weather is on the way. It's also dry weather too. We're tracking a couple of showers here across southeastern Minnesota into Wisconsin. Very light rain for them. Then south of St. Louis, there's a stronger batch of rain headed for the southern part of Illinois. Here in the middle, there's nothing going on for the next several days. So the weather stays hot and it stays dry right through the weekend, which is good news if you have outdoor plans or you like to hit the pool. Next week, though, we're finally going to catch some relief. We got some rain coming in by late Monday across far southern Iowa, and then off and on throughout the entire week, we're going to have rounds of rain. And unfortunately, it does move in and continue into next weekend as well. So we'll be focusing on the timing as we get a little bit closer, but at least your lawns will get some relief next week. Right now, it is gorgeous out there. Beautiful looking sunrise, 59 degrees here in Des Moines. Southwest wind right now at 5, and the dew point is down down low in the low 50s, so that's pretty comfortable, but it's going to be increasing. So not only is it excuse me, going to be getting hot, it's also going to be getting very humid out there over the weekend. Lows stay muggy and sticky, but next week, hey, here comes some rain, and that's going to knock highs back down into the more manageable mid-80s.
All right, thank you, Mitinka. We'll do this morning. Get this, a group of elephants on the loose in China is causing a stir. They moved closer toward a densely populated city. Now, these 15 elephants have been on a 300-mile journey since straying from their natural habitat. No one is quite sure why they're on the move, but they've caused more than $1 million worth of damage, of course. And they're eating entire fields of corn and smashing up barns.
I'm sorry, you can't even be mad because they're so cute. Yeah, what a mystery. Why? Where are they going?
Make it make sense.
They've had it. They're going on vacation. It's been a long pandemic.
Right. Okay, for some people like me, I don't even want to read this story. Just the thought of eating a cicada is enough to make them sick.
So for others, they actually don't mind. So here's what's happening. The FDA says cicada is somewhat biologically related to shellfish. So a delicacy? Who knows? Some people allergic to seafood should avoid chowing down on them. The bugs have been a buzz in the headlines lately, and they've emerged from a 17-year slumber. But aside from those allergies, apparently cicadas are harmless to humans. People are tattooing them on themselves, eating them. I'm sure making jewelry. There's no end in sight.
You cannot convince me to eat one, be near one. Sorry. I don't know. Bugs are,
I think I'd do it.
Would you?
I think I would. You gotta try everything.
All right. Maybe we'll try that for next week or something like
They're
that.
like, yeah, right, Alex, let's see it.
Your time now is 5:52. Kids are having a tough time adapting to COVID changes.
Yeah, so coming up, the advice from experts about how to navigate post-pandemic life. But first, here's a look at what's coming up on CBS This Morning at 7.
Ahead on CBS This Morning, the new push to get more Americans vaccinated as demand for doses appears to be slowing down. Plus, violin virtuoso and Kennedy Center honoree Midori on teaching her craft to others. We'll see you 7 o'clock on the dot.
You know, adults aren't the only ones struggling with returning to normal.
Yeah, kids are having a hard time too. They've lived in a world of face covering, social distancing, and for some, virtual school. So to help them adapt, one therapist suggests talking to them about it. Ask them what they know about the pandemic, then use straightforward language to help them understand what to expect in public.
If a policy or practice has changed at school or a camp or somewhere in the community that they're used to going over the past year, help them understand what it's going to be like when they go next time.
Well, Jody Baumstein says to keep a safe, open environment, that way your kids can continue to talk about you about the ever-changing situation talk to you rather about the ever-changing situation when they feel they need to.
Yeah, that is good advice. Well, if you're one of many parents struggling to pay for childcare, help could be on the way. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is asking states to use pandemic funding for daycare. Right now, there's a shortage of workers across the country. Officials say they believe people aren't returning to work because of childcare issues. It's 5:56, and here's a look at the stories we're following for you at 6 o'clock. Curbing COVID from the kitchen. An Ames girl's mission to help India fight the pandemic. Her secret weapon that's just too sweet to resist.
It's been 1 week since Xavier Harrelson was reported missing. This morning, neighbors tell us what happened the night before his disappearance.
The heat is on. We're headed for mid-80s this afternoon. Johnston, you're headed for 86. Over in Pleasant Hill, 85 today. And it gets even hotter in your 8-day forecast.
Yeah, it's going to be a hot one, but there's still much more ahead on KCCI 8 News this morning. Hang tight, grab your coffee or cicada. Just kidding. We'll be right back.